Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you part 1 of a tutorial on how to build this house right here. I'll go to home view so you can see, and we can just take a turn. So it's a really simple house with only 6 rooms, but you do not have to follow my design exactly. You can do your own design. So in this video, we're going to be making the staircase and the whole exterior. And in my next one, part 2, we'll probably be making the windows and all the doorways. So first, let's get started by making a box. And I want this plane to be between the green and red axis. And then we can expand. So the one that's highlighted in blue, I want it to be 120. Then I'm going to press tab so the other one's highlighted. I want that to be 50. If you want to do yours in a different size, but I would recommend doing it at the same scale. So it's 50 by 120, and I think we can figure out what scale it is. Then we can press OK. And I want you to raise this to 100. So now we have this perfect box. Now I want you to press on the top the shell tool. Removes material from the interior, so basically making a hole, and the exterior gets a thickness. So shell, and it says faces or bodies we have to select. So I want you to click and drag over your box like this, and the whole thing should be highlighted. It will say the inside thickness. I want you to say 5 millimeters. Direction should be inside. Then you can press OK. Now we're going to go to the front, and we're going to make another box. There's also another way to do this, but I prefer this way just to see with my own eyes. You can just delete the face if you want to. Then we're going to expand till on the top where it's highlighted in blue, if you can see my screen, it's 110, and on the side, the left side, it's 90. Click on there. And I want you to move to this, because remember we have this cube for looking at different views. We're on the front. I want you to go here. So it's kind of like to the side. Or if it's better, you can just go up to the top. Then we're going to go in and go -45, and it should match up with the shell perfectly. If you're doing different, just make sure when I was going back to the box, there's one square in between the new square and your old body. Like see right here. And do cut, that's what we want, and press OK. So now we have this big box that's hollow. Next, we are going to be making the second floor, like the foundation of it. I want you to go back to the front view. Lots of things right now we're doing are in the front view, so just bear with me here. And I want you to click on the inside. It won't really work if you clicked out here or here, because remember we're making the box on this plane. I want you to zoom in. If you don't know how to zoom in, just use your scroll button or this button down here. And I really do recommend you get a mouse, because mouses are very useful. So now there are 2 squares on each side of this line, because this line is the middle line. So I want you to click around the middle, right here. And I want you to change where it's highlighted. So for me, it says 4.453. I want you to delete that and change it to 5. Then we can tab again and change it to 110. So now it should stretch from side to side. Now we're going to pull it out so it is 45 like last time when we did the cut box. make sure it's Operation Join. We don't want anything else. If you do Operation New Body, that's fine, I guess. But you don't want this part, like in your bodies, your browser, to be cluttered, because maybe in later videos we have to go back to the bodies and see what we can find, or if we had to edit a body or something like that. And sometimes the timeline isn't like isn't the best at finding things. So now we're going to go back to the front view, and we're going to create box. And you can click on this bottom or top, it really doesn't matter. And there's going to be a total of 7 boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I keep forgetting if it was 6 or 7, but we'll try it out. So let's start things off with 6. The bottom has to be 10, and the top, like on the side where it says 71.249 for me, so you can click tab and say 90, and do that. Now you can do 45, then you do join. So this is looking like this, so just make sure it's 30. So those squares we counted, each of them are 5 millimeters, and the area is 25 millimeters squared, because if you multiply 5 times 5, it's 25. Now we're going to go under create a new box. If you do new body for the box we just made, that is fine. You can just copy and you can just do the move or copy. I'm just doing this way since I don't want too many bodies. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to start down here. And we can see that. Change the 5 to 45. Or you can just do the arrow and type in 4 on your keyboard. Make sure it's joined. And now it should be equal on all 6 of these boxes. So 30, 30, and it should be 30. It should go the same for these. So now we are going to make a sketch. If you don't remember from how to make a sketch video, you can always go back to that for reference. But we are going to click create sketch, and it asks you which plane you want it. This grid, which I'm clicking on, which is the outside wall, I want you to click on it. And now this whole new thing should pop up. It should be under sketch, and don't freak out, nothing's disappeared. Like, we can go back to solid if we wanted to. So this corner to this corner is 120, and we want it to be, the degrees at least should be 45. Then we can expand it till it hits the center line. Could be hard to see, so you have to move around a bit. So it's 84.923, and it always should be 45 degrees, that's all that matters. If yours is like 85.321, I don't know, it really doesn't matter. So I believe mine was 84. I'll say 84.8 is good. And now we made that, and don't get freaked out by all this black lines, it just shows that you measured. Then this line going from here, and you can just make a new line and click. You can go all the way down here. So now this one should be like highlighted in blue, like I have a blue tint. Now we are going to go here and we're going to go and extrude by 1 millimeter. If 1 millimeter seems like too small, we can try 5 so it matches here. And please, we are just going to, you'll see what I'm going to do. We're going to make a second triangle. And make sure these blue lines show up. That means it's parallel. And that's what we want it to be. And then you see the dotted blue line, that signals we're in the middle now. So we can click on that, then go down. Okay, now you see at the top it's a right angle. Well, right angle means 90 degrees, so that means it's good. And we can do that. Now, remember what I said, that box is being 5 millimeters? I want to click on this above the first box. And click on here. So now we have that. Then I want you to click here and here. Just don't mind the black lines, it's really nothing. And you can click finish sketch on either the sketch palette or on this button right here. It really doesn't matter. So now we're back and we see this beautiful sketch, I guess. Then we're going to click on this, right click it, and click press or pull. Then we are going to go all the way to -50. If for you it doesn't show, it's very, it doesn't really matter. So now we have this, and it's forming this part of the house. So I basically did it wrong. I'm very sorry about that for the sketch. And we're just going to go back here and make another one. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. But don't worry, we're just tracing, so it doesn't matter. So we can just trace these edges so they match up. Doesn't matter if the millimeter has to be perfect or whatever. Then we have this. And if you want to check on here, I would say it equals about 5 millimeters based on what I see. So we'll just extrude this, -5, and we can click OK. And now we have the top. Yay! So I am very sorry for that inconvenience, it just didn't occur to me. We are going to be making a lot more sketches now, because the next part is a pretty hard part, took me a long time to get. It is the staircase. So as you see, this staircase does not start again at the edge, because how can you get up the staircase? If you want to make your own staircase, fine with me, I am not mad. It's just easier for me to make a simple staircase like this one. And this house isn't going to be accurate to the real world. This is a tutorial to help you get lots of practice. And it kind of like tests your skills on how good Fusion is. Like, I spent an hour yesterday trying to figure out the staircase, or like 30 minutes. So now we are going to make a staircase. So I want you to go back to the front view, and we're going to create another sketch, and click on here. If you can click on any of these boxes, it's fine, but prefer this one. So, as you can see, there are 2 of these big boxes with 5 by 5 each. If you want to zoom out, you can, and it becomes these boxes, and we know that it is 5 millimeters each. So we have to go 10 millimeters off to this line right here, and that's where we're going to start. You don't have to be very precise, nothing's perfect. So we're going to go up. And if you want to change the degrees like 125, you could. And when you stretch this line out, make sure it's all like halfway. Because if it isn't, then we have to have 3-4 layers of staircases before getting to the second floor. And I would not like that, because who wants to climb that many stairs? So we are going to make it, if you did the same line I did, it's going to be 125 degrees, and the millimeters are going to be 24.434, or around that number. You don't have to be that precise. And click. So now, we are going to change this to 1 millimeter. So it's exactly a like right angle. Now we're going to go all the way down. And if you're worried about your line being straight, just look up at the top where we did the 1 millimeter. It should be a right angle, and if that is so, it is straight. And it's not easy being super precise on here, especially if you have a small monitor or small screen. I'm using a monitor right now, so it's pretty easy for me. In future videos, if you want to use a monitor, go on ahead. Now we're going to connect these two together. After that, you're going to zoom in right here, click here, and now I want you to go 0.6 millimeters. If you don't like, because it's so small, you can just undo it. Excuse me. Now we're going to make here another line that's 1 millimeter, if that's what you prefer. I like zooming out so I can see better. And we want it to be this many millimeters away. So about 1, I would say. So we made a second square connected to this first one. If you're worried that it won't recognize because it's not a full square, one of the lines is missing, you can just do that. Because polygons are always connected, and all the lines are connected, I should say. So now we can finish this sketch. And now we are going to extrude this by how much? Let's check. I love the measuring tool really helps you. So let's check this. 5 millimeters, that's what I thought. So I want you to click, and then you could highlight, but I don't know if that will completely work. So just hold shift and click on each of the boxes. Then I want you to right click and do press or pull and do 5. Sorry. Also, you shouldn't be doing like 0.5, that's barely anything. If you want to see how much this is in centimeters, this will be like, I don't know, like half a centimeter or so on. Because if you want it to be like in inches, you could. But since I'm doing it in millimeters, it will make it really hard for you to like convert it. So just stick with millimeters even though it seems really small. Operation join. Make sure all of these are the same as mine. Then you can press OK. And now we got ourselves a kind of staircase without a railing. That's what I'll say. We're going to zoom in again and create another sketch. We're going to click on line again. And from here, we're going to go here. So for me it was 0.543, but I don't know what it is for you. So here, we're going to trace around this block again. Then we can click Finish Sketch. And we can press pull this by another 5. Because if you see here, in my design, it is like this. You can also do 6, 6, 7, 7, 4, 4, but just make sure it's not too big that comes like sticking out, because staircases aren't supposed to be that way. Now let's probably take a break from the sketches for a tiny bit of time and go to box. It should be around 1. So 10 by 1 you can say. Then it should be 2 extruded. Operation join like always. Like that. So now we're going to make the railing for this. And we have to make another sketch. If you figure out a way to create a box on the railing, please let me know because that'll be a good shortcut. Sorry. So now we're going to create sketch and make sure it's on this plane right here because that's what we want. If it gets covered, don't worry, you can just orbit back. Sometimes I like going to the specific views that trying to orbit because sometimes orbiting isn't the best tool, if you know what I mean. So now you should see only 5 squares going to the edge. If you want to use like a 2-point rectangle, that will come in handy as well. So we want to be 1 by, let's see how much, 24.434 like last time. Now we have that square. That's all we're going to do in this sketch. And then you can press Finish Sketch. So I've been going very fast this past few minutes, or how long it is. So please take time to pause the video right now and catch up on whatever you need to. I'll give you seconds to pause the video. All right. So now we have this box we made, and we are going to extrude it by 2 like we did the last one. If you want to make like a fancy railing, like kind of like, I don't know, you could, but I would not want to waste time on a railing. I'm just saying. Because this whole house might take a while, we shouldn't like waste a whole hour on a simple railing. So now we have this, and we're going to make one more sketch. I know it seems like the day of sketches right now, but please bear with me right now because it's going to get over really fast if you can just follow along with these sketches. So now we are going to do this. And see, I just made like a little triangle with 2 lines. And make sure it's connected on the same point. Oops. Guess I didn't do it properly. I'll just undo all that. And do it again. If you don't like it, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect. Sorry about the noise. It gets loud in my house sometimes. Press pull. And you want it to be 1 again. Then you can press OK. And now it looks like a proper railing. If you notice that it doesn't connect down here, that is fine. Not like it's the end of the world. If you want to connect it, let's try. So I want you to go down and so we can see the face and zoom in. Then I can press pull and go all the way down. So it should be about like 1.4 or something around there. So now it looks like a proper railing. And now we're going to create a second staircase using the sketch tool again. Then we're going to click on this plane specifically. I do not want you to click on any other plane. So now you're going to go to line. So I believe it was 55. And we can go here. So it should be 1 millimeter and 125. And it should be 1 millimeter again, 125 degrees. So it should be like this. Now we're going to go down here and connect them because it'll be a weird feeling if it's not connected right here. And it pretty much makes a perfect square. Now we can go to finish sketch. And we're going to click on this. Then I want you to hold shift and click on this one. Right click and say press or pull. And I want you to do -5. It says operation cut, but it should be join. And you can press OK. So now we are going to make railings on both sides, and we're going to do that in one sketch, and I'm going to show you how. So it should be here. Do not worry, it's not the end of the world if it changes. Just go back to the front view and orbit just a tad so we can see. So now we see there are 5 blocks like last time. If you want to try to zoom in, go on. Yeah, it gets really hard if you have to like zoom in a lot. I understand that completely. We're going to go orbit again. I don't think I have to tell you when to orbit and how. So we're going to go here. It should be 1 millimeter. We are going to go down. It should be 90. Keep going down. Since I zoomed in a lot, it's kind of hard. So I'll just keep trying to go down. And now we are at this point right here. So now we have that. Kind of took a bit of time, but it's okay, we got it. Now we are going to do the same thing except for the other side. We're going to do 1. You want to make sure that it is 90. So tap that, 90. You can't drag it anymore. 28. And then we gotta zoom out. I'm gonna go orbit again, so I can see. If you can't see very well, that is okay. Not like the end of the world. So then we're going to go here and press it there. And that should work. Then we can click Finish Sketch. If this doesn't work, do not worry at all. So we can just go back, Edit Sketch. Sometimes I hate it when it changes, but it's okay. So now we have this line right here. We are just going to click here, go all the way down. Please be careful with the orbit tool. We don't want you orbiting somewhere else. Okay. So now it gets finished sketch. All I did was make another one between here and just trace this one. Then you click, hold shift, click again, then right click and press and pull. You'll see us doing a lot most likely. So now we have this. If you think 2 is like too much, but just be sure you can press OK. Now we have to make a few more sketches. I know, it's a pain. And trust me, it's a pain for me too, but you just keep going. So we're going to do it from here. Go down. Then here. So we can just click Finish Sketch then. I could have done it on here, but I couldn't because because these two are on different planes. Do join. And now we are just going to repeat the same thing. I'll show that to you very quickly. So click on the line and click on this edge. Go down. And then we can go here. Finish sketch. -1. And make sure it's joined. And that's it. So it's very easy, very simple. If you want to do it to this other one, you can go on ahead, but there's already the wall there, so I didn't. Now we are going to create something instead of making a sketch. Yay! We're going to go box, and make sure it's lined up with the railing. Sometimes it doesn't. So it should be 2. Then we are going to extrude some more. So press pull, keep going this way. Like it should be 3mm 10, or make sure it doesn't just come sticking out here, and so on. I'll also take another time take this time to pause the video as well if you need help, or if you just have to catch up, because we did lots in the timeline as you can see. So I'll take 5 seconds and you can pause the video. Okay, so that is good. And now we have one more thing to do. Yeah, I know it kind of stinks, but it's okay. So these two should be around the same place. And we are going to go to inspect and measure between here and this line. It's 7.311. Then create box. So I would say we should start at the 5, like around here. Go down. If you want to see like this, go ahead. So now we need a hole in the floor if we want to get to the second floor. Now we are going to create a sketch here. It is not the end of the world if it keeps changing, and it sometimes does get annoying, I know, but it has to be that way in order to match. Sometimes you just have to like zoom in and zoom out over and over. Now we are going here. If it doesn't show, it's fine, just so you can redo it. Then it's kind of like making a parallelogram right here. Now we can finish the sketch and press pull. So it's join. Now, look, I get it, it's hard getting zoomed in and all, but we are going to press pull here. Press OK. So now it lines up here. If you want to edit it, go ahead. Like if you don't want this hole, sorry about like just before, I was just experimenting something. We can press pull this one. And this is probably the last thing I'm going to do. Go and click sketch here. That was just the chair, sorry. Now here, finish sketch. Make sure it's joined, we don't want cut. And now, we are finally done. So that is it. If you want to make your own adjustments, like make this box bigger, or I don't know what you can do, you can. And that is done. I'll show you from the home view. Each of the views, I guess. That is it. We did a lot in this video, I know. I just hope the other videos are more easier, because we did a lot in this timeline. That is it. Make sure to save, because we don't want you not to save, right? that is it. So as I said at the beginning, or in my next video, I'm most likely going to make the windows, the doors, and we'll see about the attic. Thank you for staying with me this whole time. I get it, it was annoying, brutal, whatever word you want to use. But thank you, and I hope our next video is a lot shorter. So I hope everyone has a great day.